Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our last session with our Makecode Arcade storytelling. We've come quite a long way actually. We're gonna have a pretty cool last session here with some of the stuff we're gonna work on. What I'm going to do today is I'm just gonna come into my code here. I'm gonna back out a little bit. And I'm just going to kind of go through my code here because I want to make sure everyone's okay with what they have and what I have. I always like to refresh, and because, one week later, and you're kind of like, "Oh, I forgot what I did last week." So we have our start code right here. So we create our character, create our virus, our person, and our level. We create a spawn point. We have our jump code right here all ready to go. That was fairly straightforward. That was near the start. We have our sign challenge code right here. So it said, welcome to your first challenge. And I thought I had my challenge up here somewhere, but I don't see my challenge in my thing. So let's do this. Why don't one of you toss me your code in the chat there, and I'll take a look what you have, and I'll just try and match it up with mine because I thought we started to work on a challenge, but I just want to double check that. So just a reminder there, everyone. Yes, you do have to sign in the top, so make sure you do that. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to click on one of those projects. Let's just see.
I think it was Sun Woos.
Yeah, let's grab Sun Woos for now. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, that's one I picked.
So let's grab Sun Woos for now, and then we'll work through Sun Woos, and then we'll just now Sun Woo does have a countdown timer, so that is a little bit different, but that's okay. We can work with that. We'll use his project as like kind of the example, and that'll
Mm-hmm.
be fine. He has a timer, and I'm going to dump his timer, but that's okay. Other than that, I'm going to keep everything else. That's just, he's added that as extra. Thanks, Sunwoo, for that, by the way. All right, so now let's come down here. I'm just going to open up some of his code, and we have the sign, we have a win, we have a function, and we have a game over. Okay, it's all becoming more clear now. There we go. And we have his jump button. So today, let's work on some other kinds of code. Let's work on a little bit of code that's going to give us something to pick up along the way. So to do that, I'm just going to, here's Sunwoo's, there we go. Beware of the dangers ahead. And I think, yeah, he had the game over with that. All right, so I'm going to come over here to the side over here. And actually, you know what? I'm not going to come over here. I'm going to come over to this side. And I'm going to build out, I want everyone to come over to the on start, the big green one that's grabbing onto all your base code right here. And I want you to just come to the bottom of that code right down here. And we're going to work through building out some new code for basically like, I'm going to call them rewards or pickups.
Hello.
So in order to grab that, what I want you to do is I want you to go into the character. So here's the character right here. Okay. Sunwoo's is a little bit smaller, 50 by 50, but that's okay. We can work with that. What I want you to do is come into My Tiles, and then you're going to click on the plus button right here. And inside the plus button, I want you to grab let's grab an orange color and click on the paint bucket and just fill in like a tile with just an orange color. And I'm just going to get you to use the pencil, use like any other color, and we're going to put a letter P in it. That doesn't have to be it's not a very good P. It looks more like an R, but whatever. There we go. So I'm just going to put the letter P in it. And on the bottom down here, I'm going to type in prize. Okay, so it's going to be like something we pick up along the way. All right, so I'm going to click done. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And I'm just going to pop the letter P down in kind of like, I don't know, I'm going to put it in some different places. So I'm just going to come down here and I'm going to put it like, I don't know, I'm going to put it in like 4 different places. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Kind of like that. So that's going to be like 4 different areas. I'm going to put that letter P down. You can put it anywhere you want, really. You can put it one on the tongue if you want, or yeah, anything like that. So I'm just going to click done. Once you've placed down all those letter P's in your game, you'll notice when you play your game, and I'm just going to come over here, you can walk through, and the letter P's, they don't do anything. They're just kind of sitting there like that, and they're not very, I don't know, they're kind of useless actually right now. That timer's still running. Why is that timer still running? He must have a timer in here somewhere that I didn't dump. I thought I got rid of it. But anyway, I just can't see it. Okay, so anyway, all of our letters, our letter P or prizes are down our level. And like I said, when you walk through them, absolutely nothing happens, which isn't really what we want. So what we're going to do is we're going to do what's called an array. An array is like a list of different things. So what we're going to do is we're going to come into loops right here where it says loops. And we're going to come down to we're going to come down, and under loops, there is one that says 4-element value of list. And this is like a list of different things that we can use to make our coding kind of a little bit easier to put things in. And it sounds a bit confusing right now, but it'll all make sense once we build this out. So what I need you to do, I need you to grab this piece of code. It says 4-element. I want you to put it underneath the call animation code, which is kind of on the bottom of your start menu. Okay, so way down here. Now, what we're going to do is in our search menu, we're going to type in array. And if you type in array into your search menu, which is right on the top up here, we've used this many times before, there'll be like a little kind of pill. It look like a little pill like this. And I want you to pull it out and I want you to put it into the area that says list. And you can see it hooks into it. And we've done stuff like this before. And it'll just like stick inside of there. So it says for element value of array of all checkerboard locations. We're going to do array of all the prize locations. So that's that letter P right here. So that is our prize. Okay, so just put it for the prize. And then what we're going to do is we're going to set a sprite on those locations. So what you want to do is you come to sprites, which is, we've used this before many times. It's like the paper airplane one. And you're going to grab it right here, and you're going to put it all the way down on the bottom. And it says set my sprite to sprite something of kind player. Now that's okay, but what we're going to do, instead of this saying sprite 2 right here, we're going to click on new variable, and we're going to call this pickup. So it's going to be like a pickup prize. So just rename it to pickup. And on the end down here, it says set pickup to sprite blank of kind player. We're going to change this from player, and we're going to change this to a new kind. Actually, no, let's not use a new kind. Let's use something that's already here. That'll make it easy. Let's change it to food. And that'll be like something we pick up along the way. Okay, so I'll just to recap this, set pickup to sprite blank of kind food right there. Okay, all right, so what I want you to do is once you've got that all hooked up, open up the advanced menu on the bottom, and there's an animation library right here. We haven't used this yet, actually. So click on it and grab the, let's do this animation. So it says animate my sprite with fly to center. This is a really cool one. So grab it, put it on the bottom, come down a little bit so you have more room here. I'll make this bigger so you all can see it easier. So it's easier to see on your screen. Now, what you want to do is you don't want to animate my sprite because that will animate you, your virus. You want to animate the pickup, which is the one we want to animate. And we want to animate it. It says fly to center right here. We want to animate it with a, let's do a bobbing in place. That'll make it like bob up and down. And what you want to do is you want to loop it and you want to turn it on. Okay. So it says pickup, bobbing in place. Now this is how long it bobs for. So I'm going to make mine bob like really fast. So mine's going to be 500 milliseconds. So half a second. And then just make sure you turn the loop on or it'll only bob once. Now the problem is we don't have a sprite here. There's nothing here to bob. So I want you to click on here and I want you to draw, let's do something like easy. Let's do like a little piece of candy for the virus. I guess because viruses do like sugar. So let's draw a candy. Now I don't think I've drawn a candy before, so I'm gonna do my best to draw like a piece of candy. Don't know if I'm gonna do a very good job of it. You're probably all gonna do it better than me. Let's see here. Come up and over and up and down like that. And I'm gonna do like I guess kind of stripes on it. It's looking more like a bee than candy. So I'm gonna make it purple. I don't know why. Maybe it's grape flavor. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to do like a wrap, you know, like the little parts on the end. Oops, I'm not doing a good job of this. So maybe all of you can draw your candy better than me. I don't know. Mine is not one to follow. I don't think I'm doing a great job of it. But I mean, whatever. It's All right. And I'm just going to, the asset name, I'm going to type in the asset name. I'm going to type in candy on the bottom like that. So it's going to say candy. So what you do is you click on your A button and you walk through your game. Absolutely nothing has changed. It's exactly the same as it was before, because we have not coded it to go on top of the letter P. So we need to talk about doing that now. So to do that, go up to your search again. I love using the search because it's really easy. Type in place, and it's going to be this one right here. It's going to be place my sprite on top of tile map column and row. This top piece of code right on the top. Don't choose the random one. It's not going to work. It has to be this one right here. Drag that out. Put it on the bottom right here. And what you're going to do is you are going to, this is a bit tricky. You're going to grab where it says value here. And I know this doesn't really make sense, but I'll explain it all in a minute. And you're going to put the value on top of that. Okay, so the value, this value right here, you just drag it and put it right on top of where it says tile map, and it will fill that up. Now, if you come over here, you'll notice, although mine's not. Sorry. You got to place, and not my sprite, pickup. That's where I went wrong. So place pickup on top of value. That's why it wasn't working the way I wanted it to. So if you come over here, you can now see, and it's actually it's looked like it's going, maybe it's bobbing up and down too much. You can see it there for a second actually. So let's come back. So let's see here. Let's bob for 1 second. I'm going to make that bob. Actually, I'm going to bob it for 5 seconds. I'm going to make it quite long. So let's try that again. There we go. So see how it's bobbing right there? I don't know why it disappears though. That is interesting. Maybe my loop isn't on or something like that. No, my loop's on. So to maybe alleviate the problem, looks like we're having some kind of a glitch here. The last piece of our code that we do need to put on the bottom that we are missing is a set. So we're going to grab set, and it's going to be set at. So type in set at, and it's this one right here. And it says set checkerboard at tile map column and row. It's the last little piece right here. So grab this out. Oops, I didn't put it in the right place. I want to put it right on the bottom. And what you want to do is you want to set the tile map at the value. So basically that puts the blank part at the value. And let's make that a little bit bigger and let me show you that again. So there you go. Although it does disappear. It might be my timer that's doing that. I don't know if everyone else's is doing that. I'm just going to come back and check my code. Let's see. So animate pickup. How's everyone else is doing?
I need help.
Sure, Aiden. And what do you need help with? Do you want to toss your code into the chat there?
Okay.
Okay, do that. That'd be great.
I can't find it.
Which one are you having trouble finding, Kennedy?
I can't find the set checkerboard at value thing.
This one right here. So type in set at.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it'll find it for you.
Oh,
I don't know why mine is. Aiden, let's figure out what's going on with yours, okay? So I'm going to edit your code, and I'm going to come in here a sec. Aiden, give me 1 second, and I'm going to come back to the start menu. Where are we? Nice job, Aiden. This looks really clean, actually. So you're very close, Aiden. We just are going to the last piece. So this is set at. This is that last piece of code that you're missing right here. Other than that, you've got it like pretty much ready to go. Okay, and that should be good. So let's check. Actually, I'm going to check yours out to see if yours does the same thing mine does.
Ooh.
Sorry? Aiden, this one's yours?
Yes, but I always spawn at the tongue.
Oh, okay. So you don't want to spawn at the tongue. That's what your problem is. So let's see. Place my sprite on top of random S. So that's your code right here. So do you have an S on the tongue somewhere? Let's see. You're spawning right here on the letter P, but the S is on the top of the head, right? Where's your S at? Your S is right there. So let's figure this out. So this is your S. It's on the top of the head right there. Let's come back to your code. You're saying place my sprite on top of value. You want to place your pickup on top of value, Aiden. That's why that's not working. Does that make sense? Now that I do that, it works. Did you see how I did that? Actually, yours is looking pretty good. Ooh, except for the game over. That's rough. Okay, so let me give it back to you with the corrections on it, and then you can take that. Okay, Aiden?
Okay.
Okay. All right, so let's come in, and mine's bobbing for a bit, but it disappears. Interesting. I wonder why. Is everyone else having that same kind of glitch in their code? I've actually never seen that glitch before. It's my first time I've seen it. Let me zoom out a bit here, and let me check out the code I've got here. So I think all my code looks pretty good. Ah, there's a countdown. That's where the countdown is right there. I'm just gonna delete that out of the way and see if that maybe solves some of my problems. It's still warping out. Let's see. So Sunwoo, do you want to copy your code and then put it into the messenger here, and then we'll take a look at it, and we'll see if we can see your candy. So I'll grab yours up, and let's edit that code right now. So I'm just going to come into yours. Okay, there's some code here I'm going to get out of the way. And yours is very close. I think you just need one more piece of code here. So we're going to go set and at, which is this one right here. We'll put that on the bottom. And what we'll do is we'll set blank at the value right here, like that. And let's see if yours pops up. There it is. Now the candy is there. It's interesting. It is disappearing though. It's weird. I've never seen this glitch happen before. So let's try maybe it's something to do with where the candy is actually located. So let's troubleshoot this. So I'm going to click on sprites. Let's come down to, I think this one. It was change this my sprite x by 0 right here. You do have a timer in it, I noticed. That's good. So let's grab this change my sprite x by 0, and let's go all the way to the bottom, and let's change the Z depth. That's basically what layer the sprite is in the game. So click on Z depth, and let's change it by 1. So that should push the pickup. Let's change the pickup sprite. That should push the pickup sprite to the front of the game. Let's see if that solves our problem. No, it keeps on disappearing. Interesting. No, it's a glitch I haven't seen happen before inside of this. So let's see here. If I don't loop it, let's see what that does too. Let's see if we don't loop it. What do we get? If we don't loop it, it stays where it's supposed to stay. So maybe it's something to do with our animate pickup right here. Maybe it's got some kind of bug in the code. So let's see here. Let's click on animation. And maybe let's try a different animation. So rather than bobbing in place, let's try, gosh, what could we use? Shake. Let's try shake. Maybe the bobbing in place has a glitch in the code that we don't know about. Let's try it out. It's shaking, but it's not looping again and again. Because I didn't turn the loop on. Let's try that now. So if you guys can all try out different types. It looks like the animation for some reason is glitching out right here for some reason. So I don't know why. So what we can do is this animate for some reason until I figure that out. I don't know why it's doing that. Let's take the whole animate code out. So you hold down control and pull it out. And we can worry about the animation later. And that will at least have it stay where it is. And yeah, whatever. Sometimes you get the bugs in your code and we just have to deal with them. So grab your animation and take it out. And that will just leave us with our prize for now. So I guess we'll have to do that, and we can troubleshoot that a little bit later down the road. That's what happens when you're coding sometimes. Sometimes you get some bugs. So once everyone's got their array all set up, and let me go through this one more time. I'm going to take the countdown out because the countdown's kind of slowing me down a bit. This basically what this does is it takes all the letter P right here inside of your tile map. And what it does is it puts it inside like a value. And then what you do is you create a sprite called pickup, and you place the pickup on top of that value. So you take every single sprite here, this sprite you create right here, and you put it on top of wherever the letter P is, basically. And then what you do is on the bottom right here is you take this blank thing, this blank kind of area, and you put it on top of the letter P. So there's just this red part right here. So that's the kind of process of how we do it. It's a little more complicated, but it's better than us trying to put individual sprites down, which would take us forever to do. This little code allows us to build this out. And Kennedy, did you give me your code because you wanted me to look at it? Were you having an issue with it? Sec? Sure. Yeah, give me 1 sec here. Just going to troubleshoot. Give me 1 second here. Your character can't jump. Okay, well, let's figure that out. Now, what you've done here, Kennedy, is you've changed everything to pickup. And you want this to be my sprite. So all of this stuff right here is my sprite. The only thing you want to be pickup, see how it's all changed to pickup, is this right here. Pickup, 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 and pickup should be here. But for some reason, everything in your code has on this side is changed to pickup. So none of this should be pickup. The only time you should see pickup is in these two right here. Does that make sense? That's why your character is not jumping. You also have to change in here to my sprite, if that makes sense. And then now let's go back into your code. Your character should be able to jump and you should be able to move around. And Kennedy, I'm going to actually use yours as an example. I'm just going to keep going. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so everyone, back to where we were. Let's make sure we can pick up our candy. So click on sprites, which is the one with the paper airplane on it. Come all the way down and keep going down, down, down. And there's one, I think, called overlaps right here. I don't know if we've used this yet, actually. I know we've used overlaps on tile maps, but I don't think we've used it on sprites. So grab this on sprite of kind player overlaps other sprite of kind player. It's this one right here. Pull it out, put it just, well, put it wherever you want. And then what you're going to do, you're going to say on sprite of kind player overlaps other sprite of kind food, which is our candy. Okay. And easily enough, all you want to do is basically, you can basically destroy that other sprite. Let's go, let's see, go to sprites. And there is, we come down a bit this way. It's right here, it is right here. It says destroy my sprite. So grab that, grab the other sprite, and then just put it over top of it like that. And you can destroy it with like a spray. So you can have it like a fire spray or whatever you want. And I'll do that one more time for everybody. If anyone just missed that, let me do that one more time. So it's under sprites. You come down and it says, it's under effects and it says destroy my sprite. So you click on this and you click on destroy other sprite. And then you can obviously add an effect to that. So you can add a spray or a radial or something like that. So let's check that out. I'm actually in Kennedy's one right now. So if you click it. Oh, actually, let's take that out. Try that again, had to reload it. Oh, there we go. Ooh, I missed it. I'll try once more. There we go. Destroyed that one. Oh, I keep dying. So let's grab that one again. Let's try destroy pickup. I'm just going to try this a couple different ways. Okay.
Well, I found it a way to make it work.
And how did you make it work, Leonardo?
By just pulling other sprite into pick.
Pickup right here?
Yeah. That's
And that
out.
works out for you?
Yeah.
Perfect. And does it destroy every sprite? Like
No.
every time you walk over one, or does it just destroy just one?
I destroyed just one.
Just one. Okay. Well, we'll stick with one for now, and then we'll come back and work on it later. So anyway, that's fine. So does everybody have that working for one of your sprites, one of your food sprites? It should destroy one. Looks like it's destroying my middle one right there. You can see it blows it up. Or it doesn't blow it up, it picks it up. Now what you can do is you can add a score to here, right? You can also have it, let's see, so you could come up to music and you could add a little sound when it goes over it, like a ba-bing sound, like that. Under info, we could change score by one, so you can add like a 1 point every time you walk over it. That might be a good one too. So let's go here. That one's a fake one. There we go. So I got 1 point. If you look in the top right corner, I have 1 point up there. Okay. I'm gonna come back here. Just come over here. So I'm just going to lower this down a bit here. So I'm going to actually, another way we could do it is we can use a destroy all sprites of kind. So we could grab this one in just to like experiment around a little bit with the code. And let's put in a food one. Let's see what this one does. So destroy all sprites of kind food. So I'm just going to click this one. Oh, I keep missing the, ooh, I just missed that. There we go. Got that one. Okay. So I guess there's kind of two ways you could do it. I'm going to stick with my old way. So I'm going to grab the destroy one, which is this one right here. And I'm going to use the other sprites. Okay, so let's leave that for now. And let's move on a bit to the right over here. And I'm thinking maybe for the next part, what we want to do is we kind of want to open up an area in our level a bit. So let's click on the face. You can see this is like the head area here. And I'm going to zoom in. And I want to have an area where my character can kind of move around in, because I think I'm going to add some kind of like bouncing area. So what I want you to do in your head, now this one's 50 by 50, so it's a little bit small. But I think what we can do here is let's erase, I'm going to erase like more of the head, like this. And I'm going to make a little bit more room inside of the head here. So make some room inside of the head, like give a lot of area that we can get up into. And then make an area, and I think we already did this, down into the throat, down this way. I'm just going to delete some of the walls here. So I'm going to get rid of some of these walls. There we go. And I'm going to add, I'm going to add some walls up along the top. And this is going to be an area that my character is going to have to kind of walk through. Like you can see, I'm kind of adding it in. I've got to do a bit of erasing here. I'm going to have to use some more pink, I think, to get this part right. I'm just going to erase some of the tiles here and some of the walls. Give me 1 sec. Okay. So basically create like a chamber, I guess. It's kind of like a chamber for us to walk through. I think this right here, you want to outline it so you can see it. I'm just going to outline the chamber with the black color so we can see it a bit better. There we go. Okay. Now it also outline the chamber maybe in a green. I guess you use the green for the eyes, but let's outline the chamber with another color. And I'm going to use a green to do that. So I'm kind of building a chamber inside the head here, and I'm outlining it with a greenish color. Give me 1 sec here to build this out. And down. And I'm going to come down here like that. And there we go. So if I come in, and I'm sure you're all going to take a little while to build it out, but I'm going to see if, oops, I'm going to come down. And the tongue, I should be able to, ooh, no, that's kind of hard. There it goes. And then I'm going to come down here, cut that, and I'm going to come right, not easy. Okay, I think I've got it now. So here, and then here, and then in. There we go. And you should be able to jump inside of, this is the area we want to work on in here. So make sure they can come into like, I guess it's kind of the nasal part, and they should be able to walk into like a big chamber inside the head. So I'll give you a little bit of time to build that out. I'm just going to, while you're in there, I'm just going to work on something on the side here. Oh, my character keeps dying. I think that's because there's a countdown. I'm going to get rid of that. Okay, I'm just going to zoom in here. Redraw some things. I'm going to put a couple more candy pieces out here. So I'm trying to troubleshoot a little bit of code here that I'm seeing is not working exactly the way I wanted it to. 2, 3, 4. That one works. Okay, let's come over here. Dump that. So like I said, just tell me in this side there when you have that inner kind of nasal passage done. And I'm just gonna, while I'm kind of waiting for that, I'm just gonna go through some of my code here to make sure everything, because we're getting a lot of code, so I just want to make sure everything is set up correctly.
Hey, can you take a look at mine just to see if I'm getting it right?
Sure, yeah. Kennedy, here's yours. And I'm going to edit yours. So are you talking about whether the passage you're doing is correct? Yeah, that's fine. It's perfect. Yeah. I would see down here all of this red. I would make the red pink just so it looks like a little bit. And see this red on the side right here? Make that all pink, and make sure you put, I think you did do it, you put all of your walls all the way around the edges of the green. But other than that, looks good. Okay, so what I want you to do in this area that you have kind of the head located, or this, I guess a chamber, kind of nasal passage as you walk into it this way, we're going to put like a character in here that's going to follow you as you kind of walk through it and come behind you. So in order to do that, we need to have a place where that character spawns. So what we'll do is we'll create a second spawn block. So you have one spawn block that spawns your character up on the top of the head. Let's see, right up here. So there's a spawn right up here. But what we'll do is we'll create a second spawn block, maybe like up in the corner up here is where I'm going to do it. You can do it wherever you want. But to make it, it's really simple. Just click the plus sign. And I'm going to do an orange, no, I'll do a purple spawn block. So I'll fill this in. I'll use the pencil tool. And I'm just going to create like a purple spawn block. And this one is a little different. This one's going to be called spawn enemy, like that. So click done. And the spawn enemy block, I'm just going to put it like right up on the top up there. You can put 2 of them or 3 of them or 4 of them or 5 of them. That will spawn like 5 enemies, but I'm just going to start with 1. So we need two things to happen here. We need a place where the enemy is going to like spawn or be created. And we also need what's called a trigger to trigger the enemy to spawn there. So what we'll do is we will create a green block. So a green block that looks like this, but the green block will make it a little bit gray on the bottom, just like that, like a tiny bit gray. And we'll call this one enemy trigger. Okay. And the enemy trigger, I'm going to place it right here. So the character that comes into the nose has to walk across the trigger in order to trigger the creation of the enemy in the top right corner. So again, you need two things. You need a spawn block, which is the S. And I just made a purple S and place that where you want your enemy to spawn. And then I have like a trigger block, which is this green one with a little gray line on the bottom of it. And that has to be placed somewhere that the character is going to walk across it. Okay, it has to be placed in the line of the character. You can't put it like way up here because then the character will never walk across it. So it's important that you place it in the right area. You can kind of start to think about what your enemy might look like, or the thing that spawns inside of the head, what that might look like. So I'm just going to look around here to make sure my code's okay. For some reason, my array of all P locations is not functioning exactly the way I want it to. It is functioning on one of the locations, which is that one, but it is not functioning on my other locations. So that's a little piece of code I'm going to have to look into, because that must be maybe that's a recent change they made in the program, that piece of code's not working like it used to. Because I was working with this last week and it was working much better. Okay, so once you've got your, and I'll just reiterate this, once you've got your spawn block, which is the purple S, and you've got your trigger, which is, my trigger is hard to see, but it's right there. Let's create some code for it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my scene, which is the one with the little tree on it, if it clicks. And then I'm going to come down to our overlap, which is, we've used this a whole bunch of times. So grab this one right here. And I'm going to say on sprite of kind player overlaps. And I'm going to say when I overlap that little like the enemy trigger, I called it. That's why you name them, because it's important you name them so you know what they do. So I'm going to click on it. So when I overlap the enemy trigger at this location, I am going to spawn our boss. Now, you do need to flip this out. If you remember with the sign, where's our sign code? Hold on one second. I'm going to grab it. Here we go. So I'm going to take the sign code and I'm going to put it next to this code because they're kind of similar, right? Now, if you look at our sign code, and I'll move this over out of the way, you can see that we need to place a different type of sign here. We need to do the same thing for this. If you don't put anything here, it will spawn like 50 it'll spawn like 50 enemies. We could try it. Let's just try it, and I'll show you kind of how it like glitches the whole game. So let's grab a sprite. Let's grab a set my sprite. We're gonna grab this one right here. And I want you to, instead of my sprite 2, I want you to click a new variable, and I want you to, let's just call this boss. That'll be an easy one to remember. And then set the boss type to enemy, just like that. And in here, this is where you draw it. Now, the fun part about drawing a enemy character is you don't have to go 16 by 16. You can do it like big, like 30 by 30 if you want. So you can make it like way bigger. It doesn't have to be 16 by 16. And actually, you can make it as big as you want. I wouldn't make it like massive because it'll cover your entire screen, but you can make it fairly large. Actually, this one, probably 30 by 30s might be a bit big. I'm going to go 20 by 20. That might be a bit more reasonable. And I'm going to draw half of it, and then I'm going to mirror the other half on the face. So let's do that. So I'm just going to kind of come to the top up here, and I'm just going to kind of draw a very like basic outline for like a face like that. Then I'm going to kind of draw the eyes in like that. And maybe the mouth I'm going to use, remember I'm just drawing half of it, right? Because I'm going to mirror this. And like I said, I'm not a great artist, so mine is not a great example to follow. I'm sure you can draw better than me. An eyebrow, maybe I'll make the eye red so it looks a little bit more ominous. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to I'm going to use the marquee tool, which is this little tool right here. We've used this tool before, and I'm going to highlight my entire character. I'm going to hit Control C and Control V. So Control Copy and Control Paste, which is V, which is vector. And you can see it gives me like a copy of it. So Control C, Control V. And all I do is I flip it. So I flip it sideways, and you can see I have an exact mirror on the other side. Although he doesn't look very scary. He looks more happy. Well, maybe he's happy. And then I'm going to fill him in with a yellow. He's looking less terrifying by the minute, actually. He's looking kind of, he's looking fairly friendly. It's fine. And the eyes, you know what? I don't think I even need two eyes. I'm going to put one eye in the middle. The two eye thing is not working for me. So I am going to use my pencil tool. I'm going to erase the eyes out. And I'm just going to put one giant eye in the center like that. And yeah, maybe that's a bit. Yeah, I like that actually. That's looking a little bit better. And then I'll fill that in, and maybe I'll make it a little more half-lidded. Maybe it's a bit sleepy or something. Oh man, that is strange. Okay, I'm just going to call this boss, and I'll once you've drawn it and you have it here, I'll show you the glitch now, actually, Simon. So this code you have right here will create a glitch in the game. Let me show you. So it says when I overlap the green part, it's going to spawn the boss, but he's gonna spawn in a weird spot, and he's just gonna stay there. So what we need to do here is we need to type in random and place my sprite on top of random checkerboard. So we need to place the boss, which is this guy, on top of the purple spawn block. That will place him there. And the next thing we need to do is we need to set him to follow my sprite. That's under physics, by the way. And we click on set boss, which is this guy right here, to follow my sprite. And you can follow him with a speed. So I'm going to put him in at 50, which is kind of slow. Now, I think what this is going to do is I think this is going to spawn. I still, I'm a bit annoyed why these are not picking up with the array, but whatever. It only picks up one, which is silly. Oh, it picks up two now. Okay, so there it goes, spawns it. But I think, yeah, see, it spawned like 10 of them. And if I walk over this, it's spawning them. So it probably spawned even more. See? And it's starting to glitch my game up. My FPS is dropping really rapidly here. So yeah. So what you want to make sure is you need to flip this tile map to a different tile map, just like we did with this one right here. So to make that like reasonable, I'm going to come back to my head where I drew my human. I'm going to take that green little gray thing that I built as my trigger, and I'm going to duplicate it, which is that button right here. Now, you'll notice here, I'm at the bottom of my tile map. I am out of space. There's a little arrow on the bottom, and you can go to the next part right here. So I'm going to edit my little green map right here, and I'm going to make it pink, and I'm going to call this enemy trigger replace. That's going to replace my other enemy trigger. Okay, click done, and I'm going to come up. And where was my code? Right here. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to use this that says set at location. And we've used this a bunch of times now. So set at, and it's this one, the third one here. I'm going to put it down. And I'm going to set, just one second. I'll finish this part off, and then I will help you. Okay, sorry, go ahead. Is it Kennedy?
Yeah.
Yep.
How do I do like the half face thing, and then like
Yeah,
I do
sure.
the screen
Let
thing?
me show you that. I'll erase half this face really quick so you can see how I do that. Give me one sec. Oops, no, I am using the wrong tool. So I'm going to erase half of his face. All you do is you grab the marquee tool, which is this one right here, which is like, it looks like a little net, and grab half of your character's face. Just click and grab it. Hit Control C and Control V. And that makes a copy of the face. Control C and then Control V. And then what you do is you flip it using this little tool right here. This is a flip horizontal tool. You can see when I hover over it, it flips the head. And then I just, yeah, does that make sense? And then you put it in there. And then you can my guy only has one eye, but and then he's done. Yeah, it's a great way to mirror something. So you do like half the work. I'll leave this code up. I'll make this code a little bit bigger for all of you to see. This code is like a fancy version of this code for our sign. It's just a more it's a bit more complicated. But let's see. I better check if this works. I say it works, but I'm not doing great with my code today, considering that our arrays aren't working very well. Well, two of our arrays are working, but not all of them. Okay, so let's come up here. There's just one. Okay, so I just got one following me around, which is better than 100. But I guess if you did want 100, you could put 100 in, but he's just going to follow me around. Now you'll notice he gets kind of stuck. If he hits a wall, he can't go through the walls and he gets stuck. And actually he gets stuck right here because there's a wall right here. And he is a 20 by 20 pixel sprite. So he cannot go through that wall. If you want to make him really hard, you can click on sprites and you can, where is it? Right here. It says set my sprite auto destroy. You can change this to ghost through walls. So ghost through walls, and the boss will go through all walls. Let me show you what that actually looks like. So I'm going to come down. 1, 2, and if I come down here, there he is. Watch. It doesn't matter. Walls have no, don't do anything to him. So I'll leave this code up right here. I'm going to come down. Actually, I'm going to come down. I am really curious about this array and why it's not functioning the way we want it to. So I'm going to come back on my character here. Oh, I think I know why. Oh my goodness. I think I might have known the mistake I made. Okay, let's see. Okay, I see the mistake I made. Okay, everybody. Crazy. All right. So I made a big mistake in my code and I couldn't figure it out. You have to make sure, and this is why my code wasn't working with the arrays, is these are all peas. I had some of these as candies. You don't want these as candies. Actually, you don't even want candies in here. Let me trash that. And you want these just as peas. And if you put them all as peas, as the letter P, everything should work the way you want it to. And that's why the code wasn't working. So that's good to know. That was really, I was really wondering what was going on there. So my code should work perfectly now. There we go. It's picking up all of the candies. Just how I want it to. I will get rid of that letter P in the background. So just a minute. I'm going to set blank at value. All right. So hold on. Sorry, I'll come back. Sanjay, can you show me your code? I can take a look at it. Okay. So let's see. That works. That works. Oh, good. Your candies are picking up, which is a lot better than me. And what is the problem with your code? Where are we? This is your sign code. This is your challenge code. This is your code. This is your enemy code right here. Now, what you're doing right here is you're placing my sprite on top of random thing right here, right? You want to place the boss on top of, not random. You want to place them on top of the spawn block. This is your spawn block right here, this purple one. So set boss to follow sprite. Now, everything should work the way you want it to. The only other thing you could add to your code, let me just check your code to make sure it works, because I don't think I can jump. Oh, I can jump. It's just a bit delayed. What just happened? Oh, you have two. Oh, you got a bit of it. Yours is a bit tricky. How do I go up though here? There we go. Inside the nose hole. Yours is really interesting. This is looking really good. Where is your, there he is. Okay, there he is. There are too many of them. Okay, the reason for that is right here. We need to set at. So set at And here's the set at code right here. So you can see, Sanjay, this is the code. You want to pull it out. You want to put it down here. And you want to set your, this is your regular tile. You need to create a false tile of this one. So that's your trigger, by the way. So let's come all the way back. I hope you're following me here. And let's go into your My Tiles. Let's come over one. Let's click on here. Let's duplicate it. And this is your second tile, this one right here. And I'm going to make it pink on the bottom. And I'm going to call it Trigger Replace. Replace. This is your replace tile for your trigger. Hold on, let me come back here. Come all the way back to your code this way. And I'm going to set your trigger replace at that location. Now that should stop that enemy from coming at you. The last thing we could add here is when the boss, this mean looking thing right here, overlaps your character, he takes off life. I think that's probably the last thing we can add, which is super easy to do. All we do is we click on sprites. We come all the way down to the overlap. It says on sprite of kind player overlaps. And we just use this actually. So when the player overlaps the enemy, all we need to do here is go to info and we just change life by -1, and that's it. And when that life gets to 0, it will destroy your character. The only problem with this is you only start with 3 lives. So what you want to do is you want to come back to your start code right here, and you want to set your life to 100. You set your life to 100. When he overlaps you, he won't take off. He'll only, so you can see my life in the top right left corner is 100 now. And when I'm not going to go all the way down there because actually your game's really good. It's really hard to. Oh, there's a secret candy back here. I didn't notice. I'm just wondering why there's a bit of a delay in your jump. Let's see why. Oh yeah, to make him go through walls, you need to click on sprites and you need to come down to where it says under effects, which is this part right here under sprites. There's one that says set my sprite auto destroy off. What you do is you grab that out, you put it on the bottom. Instead of auto destroy, you put it to ghost through walls and you turn that on. And then if you do that, then the ghost will, well, it'll go through walls. It'll like go right through walls. There is a part over here with the changing when the player overlaps the enemy, that changes the life by 1. That I added that kind of on the end there. Okay, you all can unmute your mics if you want because we're like getting near the end now. I'm just going to stop sharing my screen and then come back to our regular screen here. And yeah, I just want to thank everybody for coming to our 3 sessions. I know we learned a lot. I, including myself, learned a lot. There's a lot of troubleshooting with coding, but you should have like the basics of building out a game now. So that's great. That's awesome. Keep your eyes open for more Edith Lando game design, and we're always trying new things out and having fun doing it. So everyone have a great night, and yeah, hopefully you can keep building, and maybe you'll all one day be famous game producers. Who knows? All right, have a good night, everyone. See you later.